BJP eyes forming government with the RJD left and Congress. Yogi's bulldozer flattens goon neta Shrikant Tyagi's illegal encroachment after his video abusing a woman in Noida society goes viral. Fearing arrest, Tyagi moves court to surrender. Kapil Sibal slams Supreme Court, says no hope left. The apex court hits out over the Zakia Jafri verdict and top court endorsing the ED powers. Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut sent to 14-day jail in the Partha land scam case to be in judicial custody till the 22nd of August. ED heat on his wife Varsha's transactions. Terror politics in Delhi. BJP slaps AAP MLA Amanatullah Khan for backing arrested ISIS suspect Mohsin. Shehzad calls it Kejriwal government's appeasement model. China continues to provoke Taiwan, announces fresh military drills. Jets, missiles breach Taiwan skies as Taipei vows to protect its sovereignty. And it's a double dhamaka for India, the CWG today. PV Sindhu clinches her maiden gold in singles badminton and Lakshya Sen also follows suit. And let's begin by getting you the big political story of the day. What's playing out in Bihar? We're hearing that the JDU is all set to snap ties with the NDA. Nitish Kumar, miffed with the BJP, is reportedly planning to again stitch a Mahagathbandhan 2.0 with the RJD, the Left Front and the Congress. So all the details and the latest reactions in our next report.
It may be all over for the ruling NDA in Bihar with the BJP and the JDU staring at a dead end. A sulking Nitish Kumar, all but deciding to snap ties with the BJP. Miffed over what JDU claims is BJP's continued needling and plot to destabilize the Nitish Kumar government.
बिहार में डूबता हुआ जहाज कहने की बात आरसीपी सिंह ने कही है। दरअसल पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं के बीच उनकी स्वीकार्यता कभी नहीं थी और उनके जाने से भी पार्टी की सेहत को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा।
Nitish Kumar, who recently recovered from COVID, made his displeasure public by skipping Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Niti Aayog meet on Sunday while attending local events in Patna. He reportedly sounded out Gathbandhan allies RJD and Congress, looking for a possible tie-up. Some reports claimed he even dialed Sonia Gandhi.
बिहार में सिंगल लार्जेस्ट पार्टी हम हैं। नेता प्रतिपक्ष तेजस्वी जी और महागठबंधन दल के अन्य नेता और प्री पोल भी हम सबसे बड़े अलायंस पार्टनर हैं। तो जाहिर तौर पर हम चुपचाप हाथ पे हाथ धरे बिहार की में अस्थिरता के ये तत्व तो देख नहीं सकते।
बिहार जैसा राज्य।
The friction began when the rebellious Chirag Paswan's LJP cut into JDU vote share, reducing it to BJP's junior partner in the last elections. JDU still sees it as the handiwork of BJP.
जिस तरीके से महामना कंस ने जिस तरीके से एक के बाद एक माँ देवकी के तमाम पुत्रों का वध किया, क्यों वध किया? खुद को बचाने के लिए ना। उसी तरीके से मुख्यमंत्री जी का इतिहास देख लीजिए, किसका नहीं ये वध कर रहे हैं, एक के बाद एक, एक के बाद एक, एक के बाद ये, सिर्फ अपनी कुर्सी बचाने के लिए गठबंधन तक का ये वध करते हैं।
JDU's bitter fallout with one-time Nitish loyalist RCP Singh is also being seen by Nitish Kumar as BJP's bid to cut his party to size.
ये लोग जलन से पीड़ित हैं। ये लोग को लगता है कि ये लोग तो कभी केंद्र में मंत्री बना नहीं, बना तो कोई राज्य मंत्री बना। एक आदमी बनने के लिए लगल है, बन नहीं रहे तो मुझे बता रहे हैं।
JDU for records hit out at the BJP chief JP Nadda over his remark that regional parties will soon be history.
आज देश में भारतीय जनता पार्टी को छोड़कर कोई राष्ट्रीय पार्टी नहीं रह गई है, कोई नहीं रह गई। और मैं जिम्मेवारी के साथ कह रहा हूं, आप देखिए, पहले देश में क्षेत्रीय पार्टियां आई और धीरे धीरे क्षेत्रीय पार्टियां परिवार की पार्टियों में परिवर्तित हो गई।
BJP has denied all allegations, brushing aside reports of hiccups, insisting that the alliance with the JDU will last its full term. Nitish Kumar had in the past broken off with the BJP over picking Narendra Modi as the prime ministerial candidate, joining the RJD Congress alliance only to return to the NDA fold. Is he preparing for another somersault? With Rohit Singh in Patna, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, it looks like it's more or less decided and confirmed that the JDU is going to be pulling out of the NDA, and the BJP isn't making any efforts to kind of reconcile and reach out to Nitish Kumar. In our next report, we trace the journey of the JDU and the BJP. They've been allies since the late 1990s, but it's always been a rather rocky road for the allies.
Nitish Kumar took oath as Bihar Chief Minister for the first time in the year 2000. But the journey was short-lived. The National Democratic Alliance could not prove majority in the 324-member House, and he was forced to resign in few days. In October 2005, Nitish Kumar this time led the NDA to victory in Bihar. Taking oath for the second time, the JDU won 88 seats and its ally, the Bharatiya Janata Party, won 55, crossing the majority mark of 122 in a curtailed 243-member House after Jharkhand was formed. In 2010, NDA had a good run yet again, a landslide majority, after a remarkable 5-year rule with Nitish earning the title of Sushasan Babu. The ruling alliance won a whopping 206 assembly seats in a 243-member strong house. JDU clinched 115 seats out of 141 contested, while the BJP grabbed 91 out of 102 seats contested. But the 17-year-old alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party ended in 2013, when Nitish Kumar left the NDA alliance, after Narendra Modi was appointed as chairperson of the BJP's Lok Sabha Election Campaign Committee. In 2015, Bihar Assembly elections brought a paradigm shift in Bihar politics as Nitish Kumar formed the Mahagathbandhan with the Congress Party and Lalu Prasad Yadav's Rashtriya Janata Dal, the party against which Nitish had emerged initially. Interestingly, Kumar's JDU was pushed to second position as RJD emerged as the single largest party, winning 80 seats, though Nitish Kumar managing to yet again become the Chief Minister for the 5th time. But this alliance could not last. In 2017, the Janata Dal United left the Mahagathbandhan government of Bihar, citing corruption charges against Lalu Prasad Yadav, and again joined the NDA in August. Cut to 2020 assembly elections in Bihar. JDU and the Bharatiya Janata Party again fought elections together along with the smaller parties. The Bharatiya Janata Party won 74 seats, but the JDU won only 43. Nitish Kumar faced a massive anti-incumbency of 15 years, but was hopeful to ride on Modi wave and with the help of smaller parties. 2 years on, Nitish Kumar is at crossroads once again. Will he split with the BJP and go back to his rival, Lalu Prasad Yadav? Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, let's move on to some other stories also that we're tracking this evening. There's a massive controversy that's playing out over comments made by former Law Minister, senior lawyer himself, Mr. Kapil Sibal. Now, his comments about the Supreme Court is what's triggered a lot of outrage with this massive debate on social media. What exactly has Sibal said? He's declared that he has no hope, no expectations left from the Supreme Court. The Rajya Sabha MP was speaking at an event where he also said that if you think the Supreme Court will give you justice, you're gravely mistaken. Sibal has also alleged bench fixing. He said, and I quote, "The reality is that whichever sensitive matters are there in which we know there's a problem, they're listed before selective judges." Now, the senior lawyer also criticised the Apex Court for the Zakia Jafri case verdict. He also lamented the PMLA verdict with regards to the ED and said that the unfettered power of the Enforcement Directorate is the most dangerous for individual liberty.
कि आपको बेल नहीं मिलेगी जब तक ये नहीं साबित करोगे कि आप बेकसूर हो। और वो कानून सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है सही कानून है, तो उस कानून अगर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ये कह दे कि सही कानून है, उस सुप्रीम कोर्ट की कितनी उम्मीद रखोगे उस सुप्रीम कोर्ट से? So the point that I am making is, what confidence do you have in a system where the laws of this nature are upheld by the Supreme Court? You can't have any confidence in that system.
He must be speaking for himself and for a small band of people who expect the Supreme Court to give decisions only in the manner that they want, to give decisions favorable to them, in other words. So this is, grapes are sour and then you abuse the institution. And the name you've taken is a very senior lawyer. I have a lot of respect for him, so I'm very surprised he should come out and say this. But, the rules of the game are well laid down. If you want to criticize the judgment, you can criticize it. But I don't think you should denigrate the entire institution. I think that's doing great disservice to an institution which you have been a part of, which has served you well and which has served the country well.
The statement made by Kapil Sibal and the Congress leaders are on the line of their existing mindset. For the Congress party and their like-minded people, courts or any constitutional authority must favor them or work according to their interest. Whenever constitutional authorities or the courts give a decree or a judgment against their mindset, they start attacking the constitutional authorities itself. This is very, very sad for the entire country that prominent leaders and the prominent parties are criticizing the constitutional authorities, be it Supreme Court, High Courts, Election Commission, or any other important agencies.
The statement of former Union Minister for Law and Justice, Mr. Kapil Sibal, lamenting that he has lost hope in the Indian judiciary is contemptuous. Courts are not to deliver judgments hanging people just to assuage the feelings of a certain community. The robust system is insulated from statements that is influenced only by the law.
News that came in from Delhi today. Yesterday, in a big development, an ISIS suspect was taken into custody. But since then, there's been full-blown politics between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP. This over a comment made by AAP MLA Amanatullah Khan when he actually backed the terror suspect. The BJP has come down heavily on AAP after its MLA Amanatullah backed the ISIS suspect Mohsin Ahmed. The BJP slammed Amanatullah for backing terror and referred to this as AAP's appeasement model. Remember that Amanatullah Khan had taken to Twitter yesterday condemning the arrest and claimed that 22-year-old Mohsin Ahmed is innocent and sought his release. Mohsin Ahmed is facing serious charges, accused of raising funds for ISIS and sending it via cryptocurrency to Syria. He's also accused of overseeing ISIS's on-ground and online activities.
आम आदमी पार्टी के विधायक अमानतुल्लाह खान का ये कहना कि दिल्ली पुलिस ने जिस आईएसआईएस के आतंकवादी को पकड़ा है वो बेकसूर है, मासूम है, इस प्रकार का बयान दिल्ली की सत्ता में बैठी हुई पार्टी के द्वारा, ये आतंकवादी दिल्ली के लोगों को मारने का प्लान बना रहे थे, दिल्ली में बम ब्लास्ट करने की योजना, दिल्ली में आईएसआईएस का नेटवर्क बिछाने का प्लान बना रहे थे ये आतंकवादी, दिल्ली वालों की हत्याएं करना चाहते हैं और आप उन्हें मासूम बता रहे हो, बेकसूर बता रहे हो। मेरा ये मानना है कि ये अमानतुल्लाह खान अकेले नहीं बोल रहा, ये अरविंद केजरीवाल के इशारे पर आम आदमी पार्टी देश में कट्टर मुसलमानों को एक मैसेज देना चाहती है।
Aam Aadmi Party AP is now the anti-people appeasement party. For the sake of vote bank, they can do Rashtra Niti and Rashtra Suraksha par Rajniti. Kejriwal had doubted Batla House, Kejriwal had doubted surgical strike, Kejriwal had doubted Pulwama and blamed India for Pulwama. You remember how the martyrdom of MC Sharma in Batla House was also doubted by the Aam Aadmi Party. You remember how they have had drinks with radicals as suggested by Kumar Vishwas and by Kulpanar. So, having a soft corner for terror has become the appeasement policy of the Aam Aadmi Party.
All right, let's move on to some international stories also that we've been tracking today. China's provocations with Taiwan continue. It's been days since Nancy Pelosi, the US House Speaker, visited Taiwan, but China continues to send across a tough message. They held a 4-day military exercise. That's ended, but PLA aircraft missiles continue to fly dangerously close to Taiwan. And there are questions now as to exactly what Beijing's intention is. What is the message they're trying to send across?
China's coercive military drills around Taiwan seas are to continue even after the end of the 4-day live-fire exercises initially announced. China fired 11 short-range ballistic missiles, including over Taiwan's airspace, in the past 4 days. Chinese fighter jets, including Su-30 air superiority fighters and J-16 multi-role combat jets, flew multiple sorties, violating the median line between mainland China and Taiwan in the Taiwan Straits. Taipei too scrambled its F-16s and Mirage 2000 fighter jets to send across a message they are not wilting under Beijing's pressure. China on Monday announced more military drills in the seas and air around Taiwan. Apart from 14 Chinese Navy warships and 66 fighter jets, multiple drones are a part of the drills, including surrounding Taiwan from different sides. Drills around Taiwan are to test tactics and systems under information-based conditions. The aim is to improve capabilities to destroy crucial island targets with precision strikes, Xinhua quoted a Chinese Air Force official on the war drills.
During the drill, we followed orders to carry out mission, further familiarizing ourselves with the battlefield environment, verifying our tactical methods, focusing on testing the collaborative operations, ground assault, and precision strike capabilities.
Chinese drones are flying around Taiwan to monitor Taipei's response to the Chinese drills. China is carefully studying the response of the self-governed island armed forces to further refine Chinese tactics. Some analysts argue China is trying to shrink the timeline for taking over Taiwan by force from the initial plan of around 2040 to forcible occupation in the next 18 to 24 months. Some analysts believe the current military exercises are also to check the response of the United States and Japan. A muted response will further embolden Chinese President Xi Jinping, who's looking at re-election to remain president for life after the People's Congress in October or November 2022.
In the operations this time, we, with the support of the Joint Combat System, focused efforts on unclogging the direct link from target discovery to the terminal shooter with the achievement of desired results. We also systematically examined our tactics for offensive campaigns, honed and improved our capability of precise strike and destroyed the vital targets on the island so as to ensure our Air Force's efficiency, accuracy and intensity.
Taipei is clearly not buckling under pressure. Taiwan has launched its own fighter jets, warships and readied its missile batteries to protect its territory. Taiwan has made it clear it is not looking for war but will not shy away from defending their independence. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, after 3 days of endless violence that we've been seeing in Gaza, finally a truce, a ceasefire has been called. This between Israel and militants in Gaza. There is hope finally of peace prevailing after 44 deaths were reported because of Israel raining missiles on Gaza.
Israel and a group of Palestinian militants declared a truce late on Sunday, raising hopes of an end to the most serious flare-up on the Gaza frontier in more than a year. Both Israel and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group also thanked Egypt for mediating the truce. At a news conference in Iran, the leader of the militant group, Ziad al-Nakhala, said Israel had, quote, aimed to break Islamic Jihad, but we didn't break, adding that they had only become more powerful. He also said the ceasefire deal involved a commitment to secure the release of another of the group's leaders, Bassam al-Sadi, who was arrested last Monday. Israeli and Egyptian officials did not immediately respond to requests for comment. The three-day clashes began on Friday when Israel launched what it called preemptive strikes against an anticipated Islamic Jihad attack after Israeli forces arrested al-Sadi in the occupied West Bank. In response, Islamic Jihad fired hundreds of rockets at Israel. The clashes continued through Sunday, though largely tapered off by the time the truce came into effect shortly before midnight local time. Gaza officials said at least 44 Palestinians had been killed, almost half of them civilians and including children. While rockets from Gaza sent Israeli residents in cities including Tel Aviv and Ashkelon running to shelters. Israel said its Iron Dome interceptor shot down rockets just west of the city. The military said others had fallen short, causing several Gaza fatalities. But Hamas, the governing Islamist group in the Gaza Strip, said all the Palestinian deaths were caused by the Israeli strikes. A more powerful force than Iranian-backed Islamic Jihad, Hamas has stayed out of this conflict so far. In a statement, US President Joe Biden welcomed the truce and called for an investigation into civilian casualties.
All right, we're going to continue getting you all the latest stories that are coming in. On the other side of a short break here on India Today, we're getting you all the action from the Commonwealth Games as the gold run continues for India.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com or call 9999892171. Everyone's busy finding what's trending. You're busy finding out why. India Today, for those who research before reacting. Download the India Today app now.
Welcome back. You're watching 7 at 7. I'm Akshita Nandagopala. Let's get you now all the action from the Commonwealth Games, where India's gold run continues. Both PV Sindhu and Lakshya Sen ensuring that India's medal tally goes up. We spoke exclusively to the two superstars. Take a look at that conversation.
लंबा इंतजार था आपको इस गोल्ड मेडल के लिए, फाइनली पूरा हुआ. कैसे आपने प्लान किया और इस इंतजार के बाद अब कैसे सेलिब्रेशन होगा?
ऑफ कोर्स बहुत साल वेट किया था इसके लिए और फाइनली गोल्ड मिला एंड आई एम वेरी वेरी हैप्पी क्योंकि ऑफ कोर्स कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स विल कम वंस इन 4 years सो डेफिनेटली दिस वाज मच वेटेड आई वुड से एंड ओवरऑल बहुत अच्छा था मेरे लिए और सब कुछ अच्छा चला, तो आई एम हैप्पी दैट आई एम गोइंग बैक विद द गोल्ड.
ओके, टोक्यो के बाद से आपने बीच बीच में बहुत सारे टूर्नामेंट्स जीते हैं, स्पेशली अभी हमने सिंगापुर ओपन आपने जीता. यहाँ से सिंधु का एक नया चैप्टर शुरू हो रहा है या फिर वो सिंगापुर से शुरू हो चुका था?
ऑब्वियसली शुरू हो चुका है बट अभी और बहुत बाकी है क्योंकि इससे ऐसा नहीं है कि हो गया, बट आई वुड से या दिस इज ओनली द स्टार्टिंग एंड दिस मोर वे टू गो ऑन. अभी इट्स जस्ट दैट 1 by 1 सो सिंगापुर के बाद ये वाला और आगे और बहुत है, तो आई विश एंड होप आई वुड गेट मेनी मोर मेडल्स.
लक्ष्य पूरा हुआ कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स का?
जी डेफिनेटली यही था कि दिमाग में कि फर्स्ट गेम हारने के बाद भी कि ये पॉसिबल है आज, और डेफिनेटली जैसे मैंने सेकंड और थर्ड गेम खेला मैं काफ़ी अच्छा लग रहा है मुझे.
पहले गेम से आप थोड़ा सा पीछे रहे थे लेकिन आपने वापसी बहुत शानदार की. मलेशियन को आपने मौका नहीं दिया कम बैक करने का. कैसे आपने प्लान आउट किया, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं आप अंडर प्रेशर में भी थे थोड़ा सा?
जी डेफिनेटली पहले गेम में मैं टुवर्ड्स द एंड जो मेरा डिसीजन मेकिंग था वो थोड़ा आई थिंक उतना अच्छा नहीं रहा, बट डेफिनेटली मेरे दिमाग में यही था कि अगर मैं इतना क्लोज फर्स्ट गेम आ रहा हूँ तो डेफिनेटली इट्स नॉट अ बिग टास्क कि मैं सेकंड और थर्ड गेम में इसको पलट नहीं सकता हूँ. बट डेफिनेटली जैसा मैंने सेकंड गेम में जब मुझे लीड आया तो मैंने वो लीड मेंटेन रखा और थ्रू आउट द थर्ड गेम मेरे पे 2-3 पॉइंट का लीड था, तो वो मैंने ट्राई किया कि मैं वो टाइम पे कोई इजी मिस्टेक्स ना करूँ या फ्री के पॉइंट्स ना दूँ अपने.
And that's all we have time for in this edition of 7 at 7. But stay with us here in India Today. In just a few moments from now, I'm joining you on To The Point. You can see that I'm right now based in the Noida Society, the Grand Unmasked, where we saw the bulldozers rolling into action earlier this morning against Gun Neta Shrikant Tyagi. The latest updates from the ground, the latest voices from residents coming your way in just a few moments.
Have you looked at back of the water bottle and found that it has an expiry date? The shelf life of water has been debated for long. So let's find out how long stored water remains safe for consumption and what happens if you consume expired water. Treated tap water is safe to consume for up to 6 months if stored well, while sparkling water is safe for up to 1 to 2 years. Tap water might start tasting odd if it gets mixed with the carbon dioxide in the air. However, both tap water and carbonated water are considered safe for drinking for 6 months despite the odd taste. Water in its pure form doesn't expire, but the plastic bottle has an expiry date. Drinking from an expired bottle isn't a good idea. Plastic can start leaching into the water over time and contaminate it with harmful chemicals such as antimony and bisphenol. To preserve water for long, it's important to store it well. The first step is to identify the amount of water to be stored and find a cool and dry place. Copper and steel vessels are ideal for long-term storage. For regular use, one can always opt for BPA-free plastic containers or glass bottles. To avoid contamination, one should refrain from using pipes and fill it directly from the faucet after filtration. If faucet is stored in gallons or drums, there should be a lid on it at all times to avoid contact with air. Exposure to BPA, which is used in plastics, has been known to interfere with reproductive development in animals. It has also been linked with other cardiovascular diseases, immunity diseases, and diabetes in humans. Filtration of water is must. The easiest way is to bring it to boil for around 15 minutes and let it cool. Most modern households use water purifiers nowadays. However, regular servicing of reverse osmosis, purifiers, and changing candles is crucial. Liquid bleaching is rare these days, but has been a popular purification method in the past.
Bihar pot boiler heats up. JDU-BJP split wide open. Break up in the next 48 hours. RJD ready to embrace Nitish. Will Nitish Kumar divorce the NDA? That's our top focus on the news track.
Co-powered by RK Marble, Khoobsurat Imandari. Co-powered by only OLX Autos gives the best price for your car.
Good evening. You're joining us here on To The Point on India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal. This evening, joining you live from the Grand Unmasked in Noida, a posh society that everyone's talking about across the nation. Why? It's because of the images that you see behind me. Let me show you the remnants of the bulldozer drive that we saw early this morning. You can see that the entire area has been completely destroyed, and this is because Yogi's bulldozers came in to ensure justice for the residents of the society. What exactly